What's going on, friends? Mike here from Outreach Radio Chicago, and it's a special edition of Outreach Radio Chicago as we're doing our very own little audio editorial, and we decided today that we wanted to do a show about the big phenomena that's been happening over the last right around 2 weeks, and that is Pokemon Go. Now, the reason I wanted to do a show specifically about this, this game has completely taken over the public consciousness. It has completely taken over pop culture. It has completely engraved itself into society, at least specifically in the United States. Now, it has released worldwide as of this recording, and it's such a fascinating subject to me. The first thing that comes into the conversation for me is the game isn't even that good. I mean, anybody who knows me knows that I've been playing video games my whole life. Since I was 4 years old, the original Super Nintendo. I was part of that 1996 craze of Pokemon Red and Blue hitting the United States. And the game isn't that good. Pokemon Go is not a good game. It crashes, the graphics aren't there, it's very simplistic. But why is it that it's so popular? And I came down, and after writing down a bunch of different things on the list that made me attribute the success to it, and also going on YouTube and watching these official video game websites talk about it. And then going on social media and seeing what the people think. And I've come up with a few ideas that I want you guys to think about. And to get it out of the mindset of just Pokemon Go. But how these kind of things succeed. And maybe you can install that in any type of venture you're doing. Any type of project you're working on. And it's amazing that something, when you really think about it, is so purely simple. It's so successful. So obviously the first thing that you see is nostalgia, right? Nostalgia sells. In 2016, we have seen that nostalgia sells. Over the last 5 years, in Hollywood specifically, and on your television, you're seeing stuff that is just a rehash of stuff that's happened from before. And that happens. Artists imitate it. Artists rebirth in so many different types of way, I should say. And Pokemon is no other exception. It's nostalgic. A whole generation grew up playing this IP. From comic book and mangas to the mangas to the video game, the cartoon, the toys, the clothing line, the movies. It's been inserted into a whole generation. For a whole generation. And then you have to then think, well, okay, let's say the people who started playing Pokemon were anywhere from 6 to 10 years old, right? And we know that there's older people playing the game because people play video games in high school and college, right? Well, what's happening now in 2016? They're having kids, or they've had kids who are now at that age. So now you have an IP that is multi-generational. What other IPs are like that are still successful? Oh, I don't know, Star Trek, Star Wars, Batman, Superman, Lord of the Rings, soon to be Harry Potter one day. Those type of things. Those type of products. Those type of brands succeed off nostalgia. They do. But that's not it, though. That's not the only reason why. Nostalgia can only take you so far. Look at the Transformers movies, right? They're garbage after part one, at least in my personal opinion. I mean, everybody knows movies are subjective. My personal opinion is there hasn't been a good Transformers movie since the first one. But that's nostalgia. The prequels of Star Wars. I like some parts of it. Most people who grew up on the originals don't like the prequels. But a whole generation grew up loving those first 3 movies, right? So, it's not just nostalgia. Nostalgia only clouds the eyes a little bit. I think one thing that people are missing is the technology boom that has happened with this game. When the IP first came out, people were playing on these big bricks that weren't in color, and you had to have 4 AA batteries to work. Very inclusive, very in your own world type of stuff. But what has happened over the last 10 years? Social networks have came out. Technology has grown with that. So imagine now You go on social media and all your friends are playing this game and you're the only one who's not. Right? And don't you want to be part of those crazes? Well, with the technology the way it has allowed the perfect IP with the perfect timing, with the perfect generation. How many other things have happened like that? Only the great products, only the great trends have happened like that. Really think about that, though. I mean, it's so interesting. Literally in the 80s, 70s, what we're doing now was a dream. Was an imagination, was this promise that technology would take us to a place where we would have holograms and virtual reality and flying cars. And guess what's happening now? Those dreams are coming true. To people, not just kids, but to a whole bunch of people who love this product. It was a fulfilled promise of wanting to, quote unquote, and this is very nerdy and lame, but to go catch them all. To be a Pokemon master. If you know that part of the lore, that's what you want to become. That's kind of like the title of champion in that game, or even in that whole world. But think about that, right? When people in the 70s were watching the first Star Wars and they saw the chess game going, and it was the virtual reality monsters killing each other, people thought that was going to happen. Look at Back to the Future. All the little hints of what they thought the future would be. Well, now with augmented reality, that's what's happening. You're taking your cell phone, this thing that's already a crazy amount of technology that we never thought we would have, and it's creating something out of your imagination that you thought, that you built a whole world across, from little 8-bit sprites on a Game Boy to your imagination growing up to now it's as real as it's ever going to get. And that's how something gets stuck into the consciousness of people. So add that all up. Nostalgia, technology, and a brand. That's how you get into society. That's how you do it. Now, don't even add in the fact that it's a free-to-play game, and you choose whether or not you want to spend money on it. Think about that concept. Something that a lot of gamers hate, the free-to-play market, the phone game market. That, to the general public, that's amazing. That you don't have to pay $60 for a video game. That you can get hours upon hours of enjoyment out of. And hiding the fact that even though chances are Niantic and the Pokemon company, and none of them had this in mind, but imagine you're a parent now. And the technology, the brand, all that is there, and it's making your child active. Or making you active. It's making the family all go out to parks together, to take the dog out on a longer walk, to explore your neighborhood. That's how you build a successful entity that this is. But all that put together, nobody saw this coming. In a million years, the people in Nintendo, Niantic, and the Pokemon company, none of them saw this success happen. Or could have seen it coming, at the very least. Of course, you're going to sell. It's just like Mario, it's just like Star Wars, it's just like Mickey Mouse. Pikachu sells. But it is the most popular thing in pop culture right now. And it won't last like that, because society doesn't let things last like that. We have very short attention spans. But somehow this has been able to almost to ride that hump, to get over that hump. And that to me is very interesting. Why has society allowed, or why has society accepted this so much? I've listed out all these different things, and I'm here talking it out with you, and I can't figure it out. I was hoping to do this podcast to figure out what makes something like this. What brings people to this type of point? I mean, I guess you see when a big premiere comes out, you know, like an Avengers, Jurassic World, things like that, right? But again, that's going into nostalgia, and that's movies, it's entertainment. People forget about it. Maybe it's the fact that this is in your pocket the whole time. Pocket monsters. But this is in your pocket the whole time of your cell phone. You're always on it, right? How do you guys feel about it? tweet at me at mmercado2333. You can like the radio show page on Facebook at Outreach Radio Chicago. You can also go to YouTube, put in Mike Mercado 2333, one word, and you'll see the channel pop up first. If you see any past videos or shows that you've missed, please check that out. It's an interesting conversation, and I also want to know why. The one question I have out of all this, and I get it, it's so annoying. I know people, in today's day and age, social media is everything, right? Your Facebook, your Twitter, that's your news feed, that's very important. That's your source to the outside world, right? Outside of your own social circle. But I can't figure out why people don't like this game. Not in why people aren't playing this game. If you don't like Pokemon, if you don't like handheld games, you don't like video games to begin with, I totally get it. You like reading books, you like going for runs, you like swimming, you like watching movies. Do what makes you happy. Don't hurt other people, but do what makes you happy. But are you really that bothered that people are playing Pokemon Go? Now, disclaimer, any of the fools who are going into private property and being nuisances to others in their lives or stopping traffic, it's a little crazy, guys. Come on, I get it. We all want Mewtwo, but you need to relax. But is this really bothering you? Would you rather see pictures of people putting on doggy faces and crowns of flowers on Snapchat? Or videos of World Star people getting punched out or robbed than people posting about going for family walks of Pokemon Go? That's how crazy you sound to some people. And that's the thing, though. You don't have to like this. You don't. Hell, I find it annoying. The postings and the constant pictures and everything like that. I know, I get it. But damn, think about it. 2 weeks ago, people are shooting cops and cops are shooting civilians who did nothing wrong. Whatever your stance it is, that's the story, right? Then as I'm recording this, more officers are shot. People in France are dying from terrorist attacks. Hunger around the world. All these countries we never hear of. But you're mad about Pokemon Go? Why? Because you weren't on it first or you don't get it? But that's the thing though, right? That's success is when you have haters like that. And that's fine. I hope you guys are placing the hate and the concern on the right places. You don't play Pokemon Go, that's fine. Find something you love and you run with it. Don't bring down others. I just wanted to really get this out here and see what you guys thought. Kind of have an idea of, now that we're heading into the third week of this game, where do you think it's going to head to? Where do you think society heads to with this? I mean, just a quick story. I know we're wrapping this thing up. Me and Nicole and I were walking Mowgli, our dog, and two teenage girls, we're in the city of Chicago, so teenage girls are walking by us. And we're not old, but compared to these girls, we're 10 years older than them. So we're the old couple, right? And we're walking by. I'm just waiting to see that little teen girl smirk and like give us the hair flip, whatever. No, they turn around and they're like, hey, you guys are going this direction? Well, this Pokemon's over there. Nicole and I turn around. We're like, oh, well, if you go this way, that Pokemon's over there. In what alternate world would we have ever interacted those two factions? Never. Never in a million years. And I'm a freaking radio host, and that interaction would have never happened. Grandmas, grandpas, mom, dads, kids, college, high school students, it doesn't matter. This game has hit all demographics. So please be constructive of your criticism of it. And bring something to the table that you want to talk about. Because I also think that it's interesting that that the only way we're able to get kids outside is by having a phone in front of their face. I mean, is that better than having them sit down playing Clash of Clans or Candy Crush inside the house for 7 hours? I don't know. But that's why we did this today on Outreach Radio Chicago. We want to get the conversation going. We want to know what you think. So if you're listening to us on YouTube, go in the comment section below and let us know what you think. If you're listening to us on Facebook, do the same thing. And if you're on Twitter, tweet at us at mmercado2333. You can like the radio show page on Facebook at Outreach Radio Chicago. And go to YouTube, subscribe to me at Mike Mercado2333. Thank you guys so much. We have some awesome shows coming to you Thursdays, 10 p.m., WSBC, 12:40 a.m., if you guys want to see any more of the Outreach Radio programs. We also have some cool interviews on the YouTube page. I'm getting out of here. It's a busy day at the office. I just want to get this out there. Please take care of each other. And also, with all the crazy stuff that's going on in the world, Pokemon Go, awesome. it's only a video game. Please take a few seconds, not even a few seconds, please take a few moments to think about all the other stuff that's going around the world and realize how lucky we are that we get to enjoy certain things like that. Be aware and take care of each other. Thank you guys so much for listening to us, and we will see you guys on Outreach Radio Chicago. Go catch